Former First Lady Michelle Obama opening up about President Trump's inauguration and leaving the White House, but she stopped short of throwing her support behind the former vice president.
To sort of sit at that inauguration and to look around at a crowd that was not reflective of the country. It was just such the opposite. It was a lot emotionally. Barack and I are going to support whoever wins the primary. Our primary focus is letting the primary process play out because it's very early.
So why hasn't the former first couple endorsed Joe Biden, and what will their eventual endorsement mean for the 2020 race? Here to debate, New York City Councilman Joe Borelli and lecturer at the University of Maryland, Jason Nichols. Thank you both for joining us this morning. Jason, I want to start with you. Your thoughts on the Obamas waiting until after the primaries are over to endorse a candidate?
Well, this isn't anything new. They did the same thing in 2016 with Hillary Clinton, who was also a part of the Obama administration. I think it's actually a really smart move to say that you are going to support whoever the Democratic candidate is. That's what you need. That's what you need to unify your base and unify the party. And if you really believe in what the party stands for, you are not going for an individual. You're going for the entire party. So I think, this is the right move for them, and they are making a smart move.
Joe, everyone has been talking about who Obama is going to eventually endorse and whether or not it's weird that he hasn't endorsed Biden yet. Although, Jason, I hear your words with what you just said. But how much weight, Joe, does Biden's or Obama's eventual endorsement hold, considering a lot of the contenders are sort of leaning away from his policies?
Well, I think it would be something tremendous for whatever candidate gets their endorsement in the Democratic primary. But Jason is right. There's always been this historic tension between presidents and vice presidents in terms of, the endorsements. You go back to Reagan and Bush, for example. But Obama's will definitely help someone in the Democratic primary. But we also have to remember that in the general election, if it's once again the legacies of our 44th and 45th president that are on trial in 2020, I think Donald Trump will win again in the significant electoral landslide like he did in 2016. I mean, this is why the Obamas, you ran that clip of Michelle talking about the emotions. The emotions are there because essentially the Trump presidency is a rebuke of the entire Obama legacy.
Jason, I'll give you a chance to respond to that.
Yeah, I agree in many ways. I think that the Trump administration is very much, Donald Trump is pretty much the exact opposite of Barack Obama. Barack Obama being a classy intellectual and Donald Trump being a little bit different. But what I will say is that I believe that President Obama's endorsement, even for a Democratic candidate, I don't think is going to make a huge difference. I think the wave of the party has moved in a different direction. I think it will help, but it won't be, something that is going to be this huge unifying force.
Well, everybody wants it, that's for sure. Let's take a look at this CNN poll that's really telling. It shows Joe Biden down 10 points since May. And then here's the headline here. Kamala Harris up 9 points to 17%. Jason, what your thoughts on this? Can Joe Biden overcome this, or is he essentially doomed?
I think he's going to continue to fall. I think you're going to see Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren continue to move up. Joe Biden, as we've always known, is a little bit gaffe prone. He wouldn't own the segregationist comment early enough.
How do you feel about him apologizing for it after he said that he wasn't going to?
I think he's a little too late. It's a little too late. So he's somebody who should have. I wouldn't have leaned in on that. If I were advising him, I would have said, look, just apologize and move on. And he didn't do that. And I think that's going to hurt him with a lot of the Democratic base, many of whom are African American.
Joe, what do you think about Joe Biden slipping and Kamala Harris rising?
I'm not surprised, actually. Look, Joe Biden looked almost confused that as the front runner, he would be, in the crosshairs of some of the other candidates. I think there are actually enough smart people in the Democratic Party that realize that if we want to go up, or if Democrats want to go up against someone who wants to, fight in the octagon like Donald Trump, they can't have a soft candidate like Joe Biden who's playing tiddlywinks. This is not going to work for them in 2020, just like, 2016 wasn't a great year for them.
All right, well, we still have a long way to go, and I'm sure a lot of more front runners to come. Jason, Joe, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
All right.